You can understand why I saw the Western theme from the name Riley. How that came about. But it's not Western as in E-R-N, it's Western as in O-N. It's Western with a twist. A Jake Nathan twist. A Stormboy twist. A Western Park twist. It's a twist that says, hey, I was telling the truth all along, okay? I was never making anything up. From my point of view. There's that. How can I hear hail? If you get really heavy hail, it makes a roar, and I can hear that roar. Out that way. Right now. It's coming from that away. So, not worried about it because, well, storms don't usually travel towards us from that direction, and today is no different. The clouds are moving from west to east. So I'm not worried about that storm getting me. As far as hail goes. Lightning, I guess you never know, do you? Can come from anywhere. But anyway, if Jake and Nathan are the storm boys, maybe they will point the lightning somewhere else, hopefully, other than at me. But they say you should sit in a car because it's safer. A car sort of acts like a bit of a Faraday cage. Western Park. Nathan. Jacob. The circle. The moon is a circle. The sun is a circle. The penny is a circle. The pond is a circle. There we go. The sun. Is it safe to film the sun like this? I think so. It's probably it's a really good idea. If you want to look at the sun without looking at the sun, do it with a video camera. It's not going to blind you through an LED screen. I don't think. Yeah, maybe it will. It's starting to. Anyway. Sun, cloud, circle. The sun is a circle. The circle only has one side. A penny only has one side, and the penny can't do a U-turn. That's what I was thinking. Because if you roll a penny on its side, it just keeps rolling. And it can curve. It could even do a spiral. It could swing around. I can still hear that roar out that way. Pretty loud, actually. Hailstorms tend to be very isolated. If I come over here, we might be able to see it a bit. There we go. It's up that way. I just don't want to fall in a ditch. The circle only has one side. Penny can't do a U-turn. And yet the storm that became Cyclone Penny on New Year's Day, it did do a U-turn in the Gulf of Carpentaria. And the computer models were suggesting it might be going to do another U-turn. But I haven't seen the weather since then, since yesterday, so I don't know what's going on with that. Stayed in town last night and have not seen a TV since this morning, and it was not the Weather Channel. So, I don't know what's going on with Penny. Okay, that was like a bolt from the blue. See, if you're standing over there where that struck, judging by the thunder that was over there somewhere, you would not think you're in harm's way. Makes me think I should go back to the car. But I just wanted to show you the hailstorm. There you go. You definitely should not touch a fence when there's lightning around. You shouldn't even stand near a fence. And yeah, you're probably better off in a ditch than standing up on, like where I am right now. Huh, wow. And an old Jack Daniels bottle. Can still hear the roar. Huh, looks like Riley's been here. I was saying Riley's a bit of a vandal, wasn't he? See? Break stuff. Perth. Back to Perth. Thorny bush. Or thicket. The meaning of Perth. Well, that takes us back to the night I made the video. On the 22nd of December. The pond. Owen by the pond. I didn't realise yet that the pond was at Western Park. You can still hear that roar. Hailstorm in the Tindri Nature Reserve. How's that? Cool. Maybe not so good if you're a koala. Anyway, back to that. Galunggung. I mentioned the volcano Galunggung in Indonesia. Beauty Cana. Another old bottle. Beauty Cana. Galunggung means more bottles. Hey, I think we need to have a cleanup day. We do. I wonder who dumps rubbish. Dumps rubbish. It's kind of weird because I'm talking about Riley and William the Mirror Boy. Riley the Vandal, William the Mirror Boy. Galunggung. Beauty Cana means thorny vine. Thorny actually means thorny tuber. And that's because the mountain is covered in thorny vines. And there's actually a connection between the Galunggung volcano and Perth anyway, because that volcano forced a plane to do an emergency landing in Jakarta years ago. Commercial airliner. All 4 engines failed, and so it had to land where it got its engines going again and did an emergency landing in Jakarta, but for about 10 minutes they had no engines, so they all thought they were going to die. And that was a plane that had come all the way from Europe. Commercial airliner. Odd looking cloud. So there's that connection between Mount Galunggung on Java, Indonesia, and Perth. That connection's already there. But then I realized Galunggung, thorny tuber. It has a name connection to Perth, because Perth means thorny bush. Or thicket. Perth in Western Australia. So felt Lord Perth. It's in The Gunslinger. The Western boy. Jack Chambers is a gunslinger. And my favourite photo of Jake Westling He's sitting on a horse. He's on horseback. How cool is this? Sun shower. Yeah, he's very nice. Splash of rain on my skin. Cool. Feels nice. Wetterling. Wetter boy. Wetter boy, wetterling. Hey, similar rainbow. Still nice and green because we had heavy rain like less than 2 weeks ago. We had about 100 mil. It was kind of weird actually because we had 57 mil. Owen is 57, Daffodil 57. And then we had 13 mil 3 times in a row. So we had 57 mil plus 13 plus 13 plus 13. 3 13s are 39. Angel equals 39. And do you remember Cyclone Debbie? She was a bit of a turtle. Debbie made landfall exactly 39 days after Jake Wetterling's 39th birthday. At Airlie Beach in Queensland. The date was the 28th of March, I think. And that was 39 days, yes it was. 39 days after Jake's birthday. Like I was saying, Jake was born on Friday, 17th of February 1978. And Nathan was born on Friday, 24th of November 1995. And the mirror boy, William, the boy who told me that Wetterling means weather child in German, he was born on Friday, the 6th of September 2002. The 6th of the 9th, 2002. Reflect equals 69. Reflect. Turn 6 on its head and you get 9. That's in the last book of the Dark Tower. That's when Jake's trying to work out the Keystone date, which turns out to be Saturday, the 19th of June 1999. Jake is of the quartet of 90 and 9. 99. 1999. Saturday, the 19th of June, the day that Stephen King, the author of The Dark Tower, almost died in real life. So he wrote that into the story. Jake Chambers. It became a fateful day for him in the Dark Tower story. Jake Chambers equals 96. Destiny, 96. Weston equals 96. Turtle, 96. Reflect equals 69. Riley equals 69. Boy Jake, 69. Chambers, 69. The boy born on the 6th of the 9th. He's the mirror boy of Jake Wetterling. Jake Wetterling has a mirror boy named Nathan Breeze in the other world, the world where both of those boys are now. Companions. And then you might say, well, what do you mean companions? Are they gay? Why do you want to put a label on them? Why would you want to do that? They're close. They're companions. Riley is a unisex name. Thomas Weston, the guy who founded Weston Park, he's from Middlesex. I said the volcano Galungung, Beauty Cana, means thorny tuber. The first cyclone that came into Australian waters last year was named Dahlia, and the dahlia is a tuber, the plant. It's also a name. Dahlia is a plant, it's a tuber. It's not a true bulb, it's a tuber. Look how nice and green it is here. You wouldn't think we've had like 8 days above 30 degrees and most of them above 35, but we have. It's kangaroo grass. It goes really green when it rains, and it can take heat better than a lot of other grass because it's a native grass. Kangaroo grass, wallaby grass, I'm not sure which one. I think it's kangaroo grass. But anyway, we've got both. The dahlia is a tuber. It was the name of the first cyclone to come into Australian waters in last summer. So the end of 2017, the end of November, dahlia was named by Indonesia. And so I just got to thinking, wouldn't it be weird if Riley, because Riley's a unisex name, wouldn't it be weird if Riley came from a girl? Wouldn't it be weird if he came, because Riley's a boy, because we've got Penny, Riley, and then Savannah. Penny and Savannah are girls, and cyclones are named boy, girl, so Riley is definitely a boy. But I think he's an effeminate boy who comes from a girl. That's the thought I had. And then I thought, wouldn't it be weird? Wouldn't it be weird if he came from a girl that was named by Indonesia, like Dahlia was? So I looked up the names, and after all the coincidences, but it's not coincidence, is it? It's not coincidence. Synchronicity. It's synchronicity. Like I was saying, Minnesota is MN. NM. Well, I jumped online and I had a look. I looked to see if I could find the names of Indonesian storms. Speaking of horses, yeah, I just thought Indonesian storms. Are they listed? Yes, they are. And there's only been one more storm since Dahlia, is what I found. And it was just last week, or the week before. It was recent, put it that way. And its name was like Karanga, which made me think, oh, it's almost like it's alluding to Australia. Kangaroo, Karanga. And it was quite a strong storm. It went to category 4. It was out in the Indian Ocean. You wouldn't have heard about it unless you were looking at Weather Underground with Jeff Masters. And then you might have heard something about it, because it was quite an interesting storm. Its rainfall rates, as measured by satellite, were extreme, but it was out over the Indian Ocean, so nobody really cared, except for meteorologists, who were like commenting on that. And also the speed with which it went to category 4 status, very sudden, very noteworthy rapid intensification. Noteworthy. Yes, very noteworthy. And I think Riley's going to be very noteworthy for some reason. Bullet holes. Riley's a cowboy, and he's a vandal. He's going to break stuff. That much I know. So where would a bad boy go to break stuff if he's also a show-off? A show-off and a bad boy? I guess he'd go to Perth. It's a city. It's a nice shiny big city. Like the shiny penny in the pond. Shiny Perth. Western Australia's only decent sized city. probably its only city, I guess. A couple of million people live in Perth. Now, Perth does not often get hit by cyclones, but it has had cyclones in the past, I heard recently. Not in my memory. Not in my lifetime, at least not in my living memory. I can't remember ever hearing of a cyclone hitting Perth. I know the remnants of cyclones sometimes drift down and go through Perth, and they get a bit of rain. That happens. But to actually get hit by a cyclone, no, I've never heard of that. Perth's a long way south, so cyclones usually hit places like Port Hedland, or Karratha, or Broome, or Exmouth, or somewhere like that, up north. They don't usually come all the way down south, but they can. Apparently they can. I heard they can on the Weather Channel. They tell the truth on the Weather Channel 99% of the time, from what I have seen. And when they don't, it's usually just a little mistake. So, Perth, thorny bush. A thorny bush. Not to be confused with the thorny tuber, which is Beautycana, a word that's associated somehow with Galangang, and no one knows the meaning of Galangang. So we can only go with the meaning of Beautycana, which is thorny tuber. Dahlia is a tuber, the dahlia. My nana used to grow dahlias, so I'm very familiar with them. God help you if you did anything to my nana's dahlias. You'd get a whipping. Probably, if she could catch you. So my advice to Riley is leave Dulcie's dahlias alone. Unless you want to get a whipping. Boy. Riley. Speaking of which, sting equals 69. Sting. I was with a couple of my friends a while back and I got stung by a bulldog ant. They thought it was hilarious. I did not. Through a work glove, mind you, right through the leather work glove, right into my hand. Or may have been synthetic. Either way, it was a work glove. Hurt like hell. Nathan tells me that the impression I get from Nathan, from having thought a lot about Nathan and what happened to him, Nathan tells me that he did not actually suffer that much pain of a physical kind. It was more mental pain, fear, and pain of knowing what was happening to him was happening to those he loved. That was his worst pain. Knowing that his little sister, his big sister, and his mum were all going through what he was going through. Empathy. Nathan was empathetic. He cared more about others than about himself. That kind of boy. And the fear. Can't help but be floored, like struck legless by the fear of hearing something like that. That firestorm, the roar, unbelievable roar, the unbelievable noise, the unbelievable, not just a roar, but the ground shaking, like an earthquake. The power of that firestorm was just unreal. There's no way you could walk because the fear was so unbelievable. But Nathan's thoughts were with his loved ones. He wasn't worried about himself as much as he was about them. Don't get me wrong, he was scared, beyond scared, but that's the whole point that Nathan has got across to me, is that at the end of the day, all there is fear. fear is all there is. If you survive, then you may have to deal with pain. But in that situation, there's no pain. It's just fear, pure fear. Pure fear, pure adrenaline. And just pure, like, raw fear. So what you got to deal with, what Nathan has had to deal with, is fear. I had to deal with this, with not the same fear, but with a different fear. Jake had to deal with not the same fear, but a different fear. Yet it is the same fear. The fear of dying. Once you get past fear, you're in the clear. It's all good. You realize it's not the end. The good thing about dying is you don't have to deal with the pain. You can just continue. Once you get past the fear, you have to get over the fear. You have to go past the fear. You can't go around it. You have to go through it. And then you realize that there was nothing to fear but the fear itself. Fear of death, the fear of dying. It's the biggest fear that humans have. Because we don't know what's on the other side. When we're here, we don't have a clue. But Nathan knows, and he's saying, hey, I'm here. I'm not dead. And Jake's saying, hoi, I'm here, I'm not dead. It's all good. In fact, it's better here than where you guys are. That place sucks. That's what they're saying. There's an upside, you know. There's an upside to not being here. For Jake, he doesn't have to put up with Donald Trump being his president. And for Nathan, he barely had to listen to a single word come out of Peter Dutton's mouth. So there's advantages to being dead. There's advantages to not being here. And I just named two of them. Nathan also did not have to put up with Donald Trump as president. Let's face it, everyone in the world has to put up with Donald Trump as president. And not just Donald Trump, but his many fanatical, crazy fans who are pretty annoying. Super annoying. Fake Christians. They give good Christians a bad name. And that's where it does get interesting, because Jake, Nathan, and their mirror boy are all Christians. And they're not fakes. Do you know how I know they're not fakes? I know they're not fakes because I wouldn't like to be trying to get a fire truck in there to put out a fire. I know they're not fakes because they're not homophobic. They're not racist. They're definitely not climate change deniers, because Nathan knows all about that sort of crap. They're not arrogant. They're not too arrogant. They know someone who is, though. A certain young smart-ass Western boy, Riley, is a bit arrogant. Thinks he's a bit good, you know? Bit too good. Bit too big for his boots. His leather cowboy boots. He's a bit too big for them. So Nathan and Jake have decided to do something about Riley. He needs some attitude adjustment, they've decided. So they're sick of having their signs shot full of holes, full of bullet holes, and they're sick of having their flowers decimated. So they're going to do something about Riley. What? I'm not sure. But they're going to do something about him. He's a vandal. Like I said, he's a vandal. He's a bad boy. Smart ass. Brat. He is arrogant. Worse than arrogant. He's a smart ass. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's very cute. He's a good looking boy. He's a good looking smart ass. And Jake and Nathan are both rather fond of him, in a way. But they're also a bit sick of him being such a brat. So they've decided to teach him a lesson. A good lesson. And I'm not sure what it involves, but I've got a feeling it could involve whipping his ass. Only a guess. Only a guess. But I reckon it's a pretty good guess. This reminds me of another plant. Reminds me of a plant called rosemary. Now don't get me wrong, this is Patterson's curse. But rosemary is a blue flowering shrub. It's also come into the whole picture. There's a boy whose name is connected to the rosemary bush. And he's another mirror boy. Now Riley is a bad mirror boy. Smart ass. Brat. And he's the bad mirror boy of the bad mirror boys of the Storm Boys. A lot of reflections there. But that's who Riley is, in case you want to know. In case you're wondering. I mean, Riley is quite a delinquent, actually. And if you don't do something about his bad behaviour, he will definitely cause grief. So Jake and Nathan are gonna do something about his bad behaviour. Don't worry. Hey, S. Looks like an S. Kind of. Yeah, it does. S. S for snake. Riley's a bit of a snake. A bit of a slinky boy. Smooth boy. Because he comes from the lily. He's a tiger lily boy. Riley's from the tiger lily. And that brings us back to Indonesia and the volcanoes. Galunggung, Papandayan, Puntang. Papandayan and Puntang are twin volcanoes. Twin peaks of the same volcano, Papandayan. Twins. Twin vapor trails. You know, if you get the cane, like if you get a stroke of the cane, it doesn't leave a welt. It actually leaves two welts. Just like that. One on each side of where it landed. If it's a hard stroke of the cane. And that, I think, is what Jake and Nathan have got in mind for Riley. Is the cane. They're going to give him the cane. Because he's a brat. And he needs the cane. Traditional. Traditional, you know, punishment for Riley. He's a brat. A naughty brat. V for Vendetta. Have you seen that? It's a good movie. Anyway, so Riley's going to get the cane, or the horsewhip, one or the other, or maybe both. I don't know. Maybe they're going to take turns. Because, you know, Jake and Nathan have morals. That's the thing. They are real Christian boys. They're not fakes. They actually do have a moral compass, a pretty strong one. And like I said, they're companions. Are they gay? Well, same-sex attracted? Yes, they are. In this world, Nathan had a girlfriend. And he loved her. And one of the most painful things about leaving this world was leaving his girlfriend behind. Being forced to leave his girlfriend behind. Brutal. Brutally unfair. But life goes on. Galungung's a volcano, Papandayan's a volcano, Puntang is the twin peak of Papandayan, and someone's put a fence here now. Never used to be a fence here. And the volcano that went off on the 22nd of December, which is Ebony Simpson's birthday, that one was Anak Krakatoa, and that means the child of Krakatoa. Now, I wasn't that surprised that something happened on that day, but I was surprised that it happened at the same time I was making my videos. That was a bit weird. I mean, that was pretty weird by any stretch of the imagination. So, Riley, he's a bad boy, delinquent, smart ass. He's too big for his boots. So Jake and Nathan are going to take him down to what they call the Honest Woodshed. And they're going to teach him some manners. And they're quite looking forward to that, because Riley is quite a good-looking, bratty, delinquent bad boy. Western boy. So they're looking forward to that, and Riley is secretly looking forward to it as well. But he's not going to let on. Hey, look at that. Looks like a dinosaur. Truly. So Riley's not going to let on. He's just going to pretend to be scared. Well, probably not actually. But anyway. He's going to get taken down to the Honest Woodshed by Jake and Nathan, who are going to whip his ass, teach him a lesson, and remind him of the importance of good manners. And more importantly, because Jake and Nathan don't always care that much about good manners, but what they do care about is respect. And Riley does not respect them. He vandalizes their property, and he just makes non-stop smart-ass remarks, which they don't really appreciate. Because he goes beyond pranking. He goes to the next level, because he's too big for his cowboy boots. So someone has to do something. And it might as well be Jake and Nathan, because they quite enjoy whipping the ass of brats like Riley. So, same-sex attracted. Slinky bad boy, Riley. Very slinky boy. Very sneaky boy. Sneaky bad boy. Wow. And is he wiry? No, he's not wiry. He's not skinny. He's compact. Very attractive, actually. Very attractive boy. Very flexible, yes. Very athletic, yes. Smooth, yes. Handsome, yes. Athletic, yes. He's a gymnast, actually. A. Kick the A. And so a prophecy is needed about Riley. In this world, Riley is the name of a cyclone. In Jake and Nathan's world, it's the name of the brattiest boy in town. Total brat. Riley. The Western boy. Riley has a mirror boy in this world, who is almost as bratty. He might even be as bratty. I don't know yet. But I guess we'll find out. Anyway, back to the volcanoes. Speaking of hot, Galunggung has not erupted for quite a while. Papandayan has been constantly active for a while, quite a while. And the ground there is really yellow, like a daffodil, because of all the sulfur. And there's always steam coming out of the ground. Now earlier I was saying I was saying storm equals 85, hot boy 85, twins equals 85, I already said storm, and it reflects Nathan. Nathan is 58. Well, hot boy. Steam. Hot boy's 85 and steam is 58. Steam is the same as Nathan. 58. There's always steam coming out of the ground at Galunggung, not Galunggung, Papandayan and Puntang, the twin peaks. The crater in between is called Alun crater. Alun. Sounds like you're doing some sort of ritual. Stripping off your clothes and dancing in the campfire light. Alun. That might be what Riley will be doing soon. Maybe. Dancing boy. So, Galunggung, Papandayan, Puntang, Anak Krakatoa, Sopitan, these are all volcanoes in Indonesia. There was another one in Sinabung, that's it, just came to me. I was going to say another one in Sumatra. It's called Sinabung. It erupted at a very coincidental time around last February, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was February. I was just thinking about the Mirror Boy, and then I found out that Sinabung had erupted at exactly the same time. As a very coincidental thing happened involving a number plate with the number 337, which connects directly, strongly, to the Mirror Boy. So, volcanoes. Galunggung, Beauty Cana, C-A-N-A-R, don't ask me how you pronounce it. I'm just going to say Beauty Cana, because after all, Jake and Nathan are going to give the cane to Riley for being so naughty. Naughty equals 96. Jake Chambers equals 96. How do you heal trauma from trauma? Embracing who you are, honestly, is a very good way. Riley comes here to collect firewood. He also comes here to ride his motorbike. And he brings his dogs. He's brat. He's a real brat. So, and he shoots holes in all the signs. That's the kind of boy he is. And he breaks these bottles everywhere. So Beauty Cana is connected to Galunggung. Beauty Cana, Thorny Tuba, is connected to Perth, Thorny Bush. So fell Lord Perth. It's in the Gunslinger. The Gunslinger, book 1 of the Dark Tower, has a real western theme. A real western feel to it. Texas, 69. Mexico, 69. Leather, 69. Sting, 69. Riley's going to know all about that soon. And first they've got to wait for him to do something naughty enough to warrant taking him to the Honest Woodshed, which he will do soon. He stole the penny too. Let's not forget, he stole the penny from the pond. And now he's wearing it. How does he wear it? Because the penny somehow turned into a ring. And it's where it gets really weird. Because I was thinking, and I started to say this before, a penny cannot do a U-turn. And yet the storm that became Penny did a U-turn in the Gulf of Carpentaria. And then there was talk that it might do another U-turn. And I thought, what's all this with this storm whose name is going to be Penny? And whose name then became Penny on New Year's Day? What's all this talk about her doing U-turns? Her, the penny farthing. Penny farthing. It's a coin. A coin is round. A coin is round. Unlike a door. A door is definitely not round. But the sun is round. And the world is round. So the circle is central to our existence, and it symbolizes our existence. And Penny is the name of a storm. It's been used many times. If we go back to when Tracy hit Darwin in 1974, Penny was around that year too. She existed between the 6th and the 16th of November that year. 1974, the year of the penny. How many pennies have there been? Quite a few, I guess. The name has not been retired. Riley's, I don't know how long Riley's been used for to name storms in this world, but probably for a little while. I don't know, I have no clue really. Rusty was a pretty bad cyclone, Cyclone Rusty, and that name was retired and has now been replaced by Riordan. And we had a Riordan in 2016. Riley was in 2013. Rusty, I meant to say, was in 2013. Has there been a Riley before? I don't know. I have to check. I haven't checked that. Don't know. But Riley's the next name on the cyclone name list. And this is where it gets weird. What I found out when I looked at the name list for Indonesia is that the next name to be given by Indonesia to a storm will be Lili. L-I-L-I, Lili. And why is that weird? It's weird because the Mirror Boy, William, was born in 2002. And in 2002, there was a storm named Isidore that hit Louisiana. And it was followed by another storm, another hurricane, another major hurricane, named Lili. L-I-L-I, Hurricane Lili. 2002. I think it was October. And yeah, these were really, it was September maybe, actually. September. I think one of them formed on the 21st of September. I think that might have been Lili. And they both hit Louisiana. Now the name Riley, it's a first name, just like Breeze is a surname. Breeze, I looked up Breeze recently, and it means fire warrior. That's the meaning of the name Breeze. Fire warrior. William means warrior. Owen means young fighter or young warrior. It's Welsh.